Hi guys, it's Jamie, rec leader from PSP Base Gagetown. Today I'm going to be reading you a story about Aboriginal Day, which is a national holiday here in Canada that we celebrate every year on June 21st. This story is going to give us a little bit of information, and at points I'm going to give you a couple of other bits of information that are specific here to New Brunswick, which is where I live and work, and we'll get into it and we'll go from there. So, National Aboriginal Day. So, what is National Aboriginal Day? First Nations, Inuit, and Métis are Canada's Aboriginal people. There's a special day set aside each year to celebrate the heritage of these people. It is on June 21st, and it's known as National Aboriginal Day. So in New Brunswick, our powwow season runs from the middle of June until the middle of September, typically starting right around when National Aboriginal Day is celebrated. So there are 12 powwows throughout New Brunswick, and you can follow them if you'd like. It's called the Powwow Trail. Powwows are open to everyone as long as you are respectful and there for the right reasons, such as to learn about First Nations culture and identity, dance and song, as well as food. So the Powwow Trail typically coincides with National Aboriginal Day. So Canada's first people. Aboriginal people were the first people to live in Canada. Each group has its own way of life, language, beliefs, and laws. They also typically have their own unique names. So here in New Brunswick, there are two distinct types of First Nations people. There are the Mi'kmaq, and then there are the Maliseet, who are also known as the Wolastoqey people. That is a name that the Maliseet are reclaiming for themselves. So Wolastoqey means people of the river. So in New Brunswick, those individuals live along the St. John River, which is also referred to as the Wolastoqey River. The 6 Wolastoqey nations in New Brunswick are St. Mary's First Nation, Oromocto First Nation, Kingsclear First Nation, Woodstock First Nation, Tobic First Nation, and Madawaska First Nation. So those 6, if you were to look at them on a map, follow along the St. John River, also known as the Wolastoqey River. Shaping Canada. Today there are about 1 million Aboriginal peoples in Canada. Their traditions and customs have helped shape the country. National Aboriginal Day is a time for all Canadians to learn more about Aboriginal people's contributions to Canada. In New Brunswick, there are approximately 16,000 First Nations people, around 8,000 of those being Wolastoqey and the other being Mi'kmaq. So the first day of summer, Aboriginal peoples have celebrated their heritage on or near June 21st for generations. This is the first day of summer. It also is the longest day of the year. So celebrating the seasons. To celebrate the beginning of summer, Aboriginal peoples honor nature's beauty. They pay tribute to the fact that the snow is gone and the flowers are in bloom. Recognizing Aboriginal people. A group called the National Indian Brotherhood wanted a special day for all Canadians to honor Aboriginal peoples. This group first asked the Canadian government to declare a holiday in 1982, which is a long time ago. Quebec declares a holiday. Quebec's government was the first to recognize Aboriginal peoples with a special day in 1990. That was 8 years after it was first requested. This province declared that June 21st would be a day to celebrate the ways of Aboriginal peoples. A day to celebrate. Then, in 1996, the Government of Canada named June 21st National Aboriginal Day. This is a time for Aboriginal peoples to share their customs and traditions at special events across Canada. So again, that goes back to the powwows. The hoop dance is often performed at Aboriginal celebrations. Here in New Brunswick, there are lots of different things that are performed in honor of Aboriginal Day. In Wolastoqey culture, there is jingle dress dancing that is very popular, as well as drumming and stuff like that. So while this picture represents hoop dancing, it would be more likely in New Brunswick that you would see jingle dress dancing. Games, songs, and dances. People celebrate National Aboriginal Day in many ways. Some play traditional games such as lacrosse. Aboriginal singers and dancers may put on special shows, and this often includes drumming. Jeremy Dutcher is a Wolastoqey man from Fredericton, New Brunswick, who is a famous singer. He sings in his first language, which is Wolastoqey. So that is something that would be typical to see at an Aboriginal Day celebration here in New Brunswick, is whether or not Jeremy was actually there to perform or if his music was played to honor him. Traditional foods. People eat traditional foods on National Aboriginal Day. Squash, beans, corn, and berries are common foods. Bannock is a type of traditional bread, and wild rice is a part of many meals. So again, here in New Brunswick, typical meals may be salmon, bannock, as well as fiddleheads. So that's the end of that story. Like I said, the Powwow Trail typically starts in the middle of June, and it goes right until the middle of September. There are 12 powwows throughout New Brunswick during the summer months, and they are open to everyone, where you are able to go and take part and learn about First Nations culture and identity. There's lots of beautiful dancing, drumming, singing, food. They have lots of vendors where you're able to purchase First Nations crafts and those types of things. The First Nations people are very, very welcoming, and I encourage you, if you're interested, to learn more about your local powwow.